Hello and welcome to BOI Weekly. I'm Kayode Alayande. No sooner had we welcomed the new year 2017 than the Bank of Industry began pursuing its outlined goals and objectives of ensuring that Nigerians, regardless of their social standing, benefit from its credit delivery programs. In the first week, BOI presented checks to leading microfinance banks in Nigeria under its on-lending program called the Bottom of the Pyramid Scheme, in partnership with leading microfinance banks in the country. A few days later, the bank signed an MOU with the National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC, in order to boost support for businesses producing regulated products in the country. And a week after, the Bank of Industry took its renewable energy funding further by making 1 billion naira available to micro, small and medium enterprises in partnership with the United Nations Development Programme. So today on the show, we'll bring you highlights of the bank's partnerships and funds launched in the month of January. Stay close. It's a new day for millions of micro entrepreneurs in Nigeria. This is because the Bank of Industry is now extending loans to them through an all-inclusive on-lending program called the Bottom of the Pyramid Scheme. It's in partnership with leading microfinance banks in Nigeria. The idea is to leverage on the spread and penetration of these financial institutions in all parts of the country to stimulate economic activities within the lowest rung of the ladder. Although it's been launched in a boardroom, a critical mass of Nigerians who have over the years been financially excluded would be captured under this initiative. Under the scheme, participating microfinance banks are expected to in turn provide loans to millions of underbanked micro-entrepreneurs, particularly in the remote and rural areas. The acting MD CEO Bank of Industry, Mr. Waheed Olagunju, unveils the initiative.
The BOP is an on-lending scheme using the services of microfinance banks and other acceptable financial services institutions as vehicle for credit delivery to the underserved and underbanked micro-entrepreneurs. The BOP scheme is essentially aimed at poverty reduction through job and wealth creation, focusing on rural micro-enterprise operators with a view to extending financial inclusion to them. The scheme is designed to leverage on the spread and penetration of the participating financial institutions in all parts of the country to stimulate economic activity within the critical mass at the bottom of the pyramid. Project identification shall be on the basis of the comparative advantages of the various states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory. Activities to be financed include, but are not limited to, value addition in sectors like agriculture, light manufacturing, food products, including snacks and bakeries, beverages, solid minerals, services, artisanal activities like wood and metal works, tailoring, shoemaking, etc. The rationale for the Bank of Industry's Bottom of the Pyramid Scheme are as follows. 1. Some of these reasons include it aligns with the employment and wealth creation objectives of the National Enterprise Development Program of the federal government, also known as NEDEP. 2. It enables BOI to deepen its developmental and lending activities by utilizing the services of other tested financial service institutions to deliver credit to the underserved and underbanked at the bottom of the pyramid. The scheme will further enable BOI achieve its core mandate of industrialization by providing finance for the economically active yet financially excluded micro-entrepreneurs. D. By partnering with LAPO Microfinance Bank, Lotus Capital, and Fortis Microfinance Bank, and other microfinance banks in the country for credit delivery to micro-enterprises, BOI will be able to focus more on funding small and medium enterprises. We also decided to work with MFBs because lending to micro enterprises requires special skills that they have been able to acquire over the years.
BOI has already disbursed 1.1 billion naira to 11 microfinance banks. Lapo Microfinance Bank, Fortis Microfinance Bank and Lotus Capital are here to receive their own checks. This brings the total amount disbursed under the scheme to 3.1 billion naira amongst 11 banks. The MDs of the three microfinance banks speak.
We align completely with the BOI's objective, particularly that of financial inclusion. And I suppose the reason that we're part of this group is that Lotus Capital, the raison d'etre, reason for being, is financial inclusion. We offer a unique and specific mechanism, alternative mechanism for providing finance to those who may ordinarily be excluded from the financial markets.
I want to assure you that this partnership will be very successful. The success will be measured by a number of people that are empowered.
That bottom of the pyramid is always the widest part of the structure, and is the foundation on which the middle and the top, the apex, are built upon. And I think, Mr. Olagunju, is to your credit and to your team that you have finally got it right.
Afterwards, the checks are presented. The following week, the Bank of Industry stepped up the momentum. It went ahead to sign a partnership with the National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC. The idea was to boost support for businesses producing regulated products and items in the country. The two bodies believe the partnership will help shorten the turnaround time for certification. NAFDAC is expected to assist micro, small and medium enterprises applying for funding from BOI to get their processes and their products certified. The acting MD CEO Bank of Industry, Mr. Waheed Olagunju, says the program is to further entrench government's drive to further encourage businesses in Nigeria's non-oil sector. He also maintains that getting NAFDAC certification on products will be a prerequisite for assessing loans under the scheme.
Because there are standards to be met. These are standards that have been set by some international agreements and protocols. And NAFDAC are the statutory custodian of these requirements that have to be met by entrepreneurs who want to operate in these areas. For this country's economic recovery to be fast-tracked, both agencies must work hand in hand to support particularly small and medium enterprises. Those who, for instance, produce food must receive NAFDAC certification and endorsement before they can access credit. And the importance of this is that if you don't have NAFDAC numbers, you cannot sell your products in the open market. And where you cannot sell, your business model will become defective, your business plan will not materialize. And unless we're able to establish that you can sell your products when they are produced, we will not lend to you. Because it's only when you sell that the cash flow projections on which loan repayment is predicated, that's when the cash flow projections can be actualized or realized. So for us, it's very important for our customers to be accredited by NAFDAC. And when you are accredited by NAFDAC, even if you are not our customers, because part of the MOU is that NAFDAC will also allow BOI access their database to know Nigerian companies across the country who have been accredited by NAFDAC. To the extent that they've met NAFDAC requirements, suggests that they are well-managed enterprises and they've been substantially de-risked. So we can feel comfortable dealing with such entrepreneurs. Same thing with drugs and pharmaceuticals. This is an area where Nigerian companies have done quite well. If you examine the figures from the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, the PMG Man, the Financial Group of Man, have done quite well in recent times. A lot of our indigenous manufacturers have been able to export their products to other African countries and even beyond. We're supporting many of them to meet not only NAFDAC standards, but also WHO requirements, which enables them to bid or tender or participate in international tenders for supply of drugs, by international agency who want to supply medications to disaster areas or where they are needed in other parts of the world.
The Acting Director General, NAFDAC, Yetunde Oni, responds by talking about the operations of the agency and its relevance to the initiative.
So NAFDAC as a parastatal under the Federal Ministry of Health, headed by a COO or the Director General, operates in a particular structure of having a total of 13 directorates, both technical and service directorates, working together to ensure that we perform our regulatory functions in arriving at granting the necessary marketing authorization to all these products that are under our purview. And therefore, before a product can be granted the marketing authorization, we must have a full proof that the good manufacturing practice of that particular facility is satisfactory. We sample the product, send to our lab, analyze, and ensure that we have satisfactory lab report. We review the documents submitted by the organization, and we hold our meeting to now grant the marketing authorization, which is the NAFDAC number. It is not only the NAFDAC number that you look out for on a particular product that is registered by NAFDAC. You also look at the product name, the company name, the location address of the manufacturer, the best before and expiry date, the batch number, the NAFDAC number. All of these parameters must have to be there before you can be sure that this particular product is NAFDAC certified.